Hi, I'm Akash, and today we're going to be talking about the H1B visa and why that might not be the right vehicle for your American journey. Now, the H1B visa is an incredibly popular form of visa, and for long-term travel to the US outside of familial purposes, it is the most popular. The benefits of the H1B program is that it's a very well-trod approach. It's something that there are a lot of resources to help with. It's something that employers in the US are more familiar with than other kinds of short or long-term visa that could apply to your case. And accordingly, there are many resources that can help you. There are many individuals, forums, experiences where you can get in touch with people that have gone through the process before. Second advantage is that it has a very clear path to citizenship. It's a dual intent visa, so there's no problem with going in with the intention of eventually settling in the US. And with the H1B, once you have an approved H1B through an employer, you can then, after a certain period of time, apply for a green card under an EB class. That's a permanent residence card. And 5 years after that, you have the ability to apply for citizenship. The final advantage is that there aren't as many barriers to entry for an H1B as compared to some of the other more specific visa alternatives. There isn't a requirement of a certain amount of knowledge or a certain level of education beyond the minimum set for the H1B. There isn't a certain amount of experience required, whether by a particular company in a particular field or generally. And there isn't the requirement of a treaty as are required by certain treaty trader visas that are eligible under the E-class. With all that in mind, you can see why the H-1B visa would be the go-to visa when someone is considering moving to the United States. That being said, there are some drawbacks and disadvantages to the H-1B visa, both due to its popularity and due to the nature of the visa itself, that may make it undesirable for certain cases. One of the downsides of the H-1B visa is the incredibly high demand there is for that class of visa. This means that, especially when you look at countries that have high rates of demand like India and China, the caps of annual H-1Bs that can be issued are often exceeded incredibly quickly. This means that you need to make sure that the timing of your application is very, very accurate. For example, in India, you often have to get your application in within the first 5 days that the applications are opened. And there is now an additional pre-registration process that filters in. Even with these restrictions, the demand in those few days when the window is still open will still exceed the cap, which means that they will be subjected to a lottery process by which numbers are picked. What this means in a nutshell is that the ability to get an H-1B visa is highly dependent on persistence, luck, and timing. And if any of these legs is lacking in your case, you may end up spinning your wheels and wasting your time. The second disadvantage is that you need to have a job from an employer in your field already in position, because the H-1B is a visa that is petitioned for by an American employer. Without an American employer in place, it will be impossible to even start with the H-1B process. For those that are trying to translate their skills into a visa directly, the H-1B simply is not suitable. The final disadvantage is that there is a long processing time that takes place, largely due to the cap, visa, and queuing system. Oftentimes, the full process between having a petition from your U.S. employer to getting the visa stamped in your passport can take 9 months, 1 year, or even longer. So there are several factors to consider when deciding on the appropriate visa class for your case. Now, it could very well be that the H-1B is the most appropriate and valid option for your case. However, it's important to go in understanding the various specifics of your case and what opportunities are ahead, in which case the H-1B may not be the right vehicle for you to take. when considering how to move ahead with your case, it can be useful to consult a professional that has experience both with H-1B cases as well as the many alternatives that could be available in your specific circumstances. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please feel free to give us a like, give us a comment with any thoughts that you have on the subject matter, and subscribe to see more content coming soon.